a moment to read the following question. Pause the video, and once you're done, unpause the video. Okay, now that you're done reading the question on the right here, let's tackle a key concept before beginning. The first thing that I want to point out is the word listed here, which is no solution. And no solution comes in to understanding a concept that the SAT company wants you to know. The first thing is if you have no solution is you have two lines and they're going to be formulated side by side and never intersect, which means that our slopes are going to be exactly the same. So our M1 is going to be equal to our M2. So the slopes are going to be exactly the same. That means that our slopes are the same, but it doesn't mean that our y-intercept has to be the same either. So that means that B1, or y-intercept of the first line, does not have to equal the y-intercept of the second line. So to reiterate, if it is parallel, our slopes are the same, our y-intercepts don't have to be the same. Let's take a look at the other possible way that they could rephrase this question. So this is for no solution because they don't intersect. What if they did say that there's a solution? Okay, so that would formulate an X, or it would be perpendicular, which means that our M1, or our slope of the first line, would be the negative reciprocal, or the reciprocal would be the negative and then reversed of M1. So let me reiterate that again. So if our slope of the first line is M1, then it's also a positive M1. Then our second slope is going to be a negative 1 over M1. Okay, so that's something to note. And in this case, B1 does not matter if it equals B2. It's irrelevant. So that's something else to note. It's not a key factor that you're looking for, but it's something to note. Now, our third case scenario is our infinite number solutions. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this out and draw my infinite symbol here, because our infinite symbol means that there are going to be two lines and they're superimposed on one another, which means that they're going to have exactly the same properties. So our M1 is going to be exactly the same as our M2. This also means that our y-intercepts B1 is going to go ahead and match up to B2. Okay, so that's the key concept that you have to understand before actually completing this problem. Let's begin this problem together. Okay, now that we've gone over key concepts, we're going to now try to solve this problem by taking a look at both of our equations. The first thing to note is we have this first equation here, and then we have this second equation here. We're going to go ahead and simplify that first equation so that like terms match up. We're going to do this first by bringing over the 30y. And just to quickly refresh your memory, because it's positive 30y on this side, I'm going to subtract 30y on both sides to then get my next answer. So if I go ahead and do that and I clear that out for a second, I'm going to have 30x minus 45y equals 30y plus 15. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and bring this over. So now what we have is 30x minus 75y equals 15. I'm going to go ahead and simplify this what that entails is ensuring that I go ahead and divide everything by the largest factor possible, which is 15. And when I go ahead and do that and simplify that further, I go ahead and get 2x minus 5y equals 1. I'm going to go ahead for a second here and erase this so you could see the final equation side by side. So we're going to clear this out. And so we had 2x minus 5y equals 1. And we had our second equation, which was 6y equals 1/6 minus 10x. At this point, what we can go ahead and do is rearrange this second equation so we can go ahead and simplify this further to go ahead and match our equations that have the same variables on the same side. If you want to see that further, what that means is I'm going to go ahead and bring the 10x over to the other side. So I have 10x minus, or should say plus, ky equals 1/6. And if I cross this out and I look at our first equation and our second equation, we can go ahead and set up a value to go ahead and solve for x by using proportions. So we can cross multiply this essentially. And when we cross multiply, this should look something like taking all our x values and matching them up and taking all our y values and matching them up. So what this would look like is 2 divided by 10 equals the same thing as -5 over k. And how we got these is because we took the 2 from this 2 up here and this 10 up here. Essentially, we had x over x and y over y here, -5y, -ky, and then we went ahead and crossed these out, the x's and the y's, because you can do that. So now we have our cross multiplication formula, and I'm going to rewrite that here so it looks something like 2 over 10 equals k over -5. Now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and cross. Oh, I have to undo that. Sorry there. We're going to go ahead and put -5, I should say, over k. Now that I have those, I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply, and that will give me 2k, because I'm going to multiply 2 and k, and cross multiply the 10 and the -50, and that's going to give me -50. Divide both sides by 2 and 2, giving -25 equals k, which gives us the final answer here. Answer choice D. So that's the long way to solve this problem. You might be wondering, hey, we have Desmos. Why do we need to use the long form? Why can't we use the short form? Well, I want to preface this by saying that they could give you this in an open-ended format, asking you just to find the value of k. And the way that I'm about to show you on Desmos doesn't really allow you to quickly solve the answer using Desmos. It's more of a shorthand form. So what I mean by that is you're going to have to know both ways of solving the problem just in case they give you this in an open-ended question and you don't have answer choices to choose from. But for now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and type in my first equation into Desmos so you could see that 30x minus 45y equals 30y plus 15. Now I'm going to go ahead and take that second equation and type that in as well. It asks you to go ahead and provide the slider. I go ahead and provide the slider, which allows you to move the graphs based on your value of k. Since it's multiple choice, I can go ahead and type in all my answers, noticing that -10 is still intersecting. And even if I go to like -3 and -5/2, it's still a value that is going to intersect both lines. But if I type in -25, which is in my multiple choice format, you could see that there are two lines, the blue one and the red one, and they're parallel, which indicates no solution, which also would give us the value that we're looking for here, and going ahead and saying that answer choice D looks really favorable at this moment. So D would be the best answer choice because we were able to plug those numbers in for the value of K and see our lines are matching up as parallel. This is great if you have a multiple choice format to use Desmos because you have answer choices to pick from to then plug in for the value of K here. But if it's an open-ended format, you don't have that opportunity, and you would have to use the original longhand form to sort of help you out, and you could double check in Desmos as well to make sure that you're on the right track. I hope this helps. If you're looking for free or paid material, make sure to explore our link tree and hit that subscribe button.